Talk to the man himself. Coach, how we doing today?
Good, guys. How you doing?
We're doing great. We're doing so fantastic, and we are so happy that you were able to join us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Coach, like we like to do with all our area coaches, we always start off with a sort of meet the team segment. So shout out the returning players you got this season, as well as some younger players that you think might turn some heads this year.
Well, actually, I got a pretty unique situation. Unlike probably most teams in the Tri-County area. I have 10 seniors this year, and 9 of them are returning lettermen. So, we're led obviously in the circle by Maddie Lester. Madison was first team all league her first 2 years pitching. Obviously, lost the COVID year, so more than likely she'd have been first team all 3 year. And then at shortstop, our captain on the defense, Jenna Olexa. Same thing, first team all league, her first 2 years. Both girls, honorable mention, all district. And then also I have Dana Haus. These 3 girls actually probably would have been 3-year starters as freshmen. So they've carried the load for us here defensively for the most part. But also, I had Nadia Rwana, another senior who played absolutely amazing at second base and third base for me last year. We have Cassie Bryan. She'll be a first baseman. Sophia Hoffman, who led my outfield out in center field, and then we have a couple other girls here that are just nice role players that will have the opportunity to win a starting spot here. Every day is an interview, I tell them, and every day is a new day. It's a new tryout. So, go out there and win it. With 10 seniors, it's tough, but you got to go out there and you got to earn the spot. I got a couple of juniors this year that will play a pivotal part in Cami Goski and Madison Dravecki. Natalie Davis, unfortunately, would have been probably my number 2 pitcher coming in this year. Had a great year last year, had a great summer. Unfortunately, tore her ACL during basketball and MCL, so it's unfortunate for Natalie, but she's in good spirits, and we're going to be behind her this year. Hopefully, she can come back next year, which I know she will, and lead us as a senior. And then Madison Weimer, we're young at catcher. Madison caught a little bit for me last year, but she's a sophomore. But she's going to catch a ton of innings this year, so. We're going to lean on her a lot. And then, I have a very, very good freshman in Tori Strines coming in. She's also going to play varsity for us. Tori is a extremely hard worker, kind of flies under the radar. I know there's a lot of other young girls on other teams in the area that people talk about more than Tori. But let me tell you, this girl is a very, very good player, and she's going to be a very good player for many years to come.
Coach, obviously, when people talk about your team and returning, it's all going to start in the circle with Maddie Lester. And obviously, not just a pitcher, but she hits pretty well. And when she's not pitching, she's a pretty good infielder. Talk about what you expect growth-wise from her from last year to this year, and what you expect to see to even be better and improving from her this year in the circle.
Well, I think Maddie last year had some ups and downs at times, but she really, really finished the season strong. She pitched a phenomenal sectional championship game against a very good Mentor team. Then, unfortunately, we lost to a very good Hoover team. But, Maddie kept us in that game for the first few, 4 or 5 innings. You got to hit the ball. I mean, you got to score runs. You can't put so much pressure on your pitchers always to, go out there and be perfect. But Maddie, this year, I think coming into this year, she feels really well. She feels the healthiest she's been. And, we scrimmaged this past Saturday against 2 really good teams indoors, Medina Highland and a team that we scrimmaged last year that we did not scrimmage well against. And Chardon, another really good team that we played last year. We had to walk it off against some very, very good team. And, we gave up 3 runs in 2 games to both teams. So, Maddie, I think this is, like I said, the healthiest she's been. And I think she's going to come on. She's going to have a great year. Obviously, she's headed to Cal U, Division II school up in Pittsburgh. And I know Maddie wants nothing more than to finish out her senior year strong, and help this team win a lot of games.
Coach, talk about faring in this very tough AAC conference. I think all viable programs and all 5 teams are tough year to year and all can't be counted out in any game. Talk about competing in that and what it's going to take to get a piece of that crown this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's the toughest, as tough as it gets. Obviously Fitch still the top dog. They've won it the last couple of years, so, obviously we split with them, twice, but to win this conference, you really got to go out and you have to play almost perfect every time you go out. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. Last year we got swept by Canfield. They flew under the radar last year. They got another great pitcher, Melina Toth. Obviously, Howland will be another team this year that is much improved. A lot of young talent coming in at Howland. So you're right. This conference itself is just it's tough. You got to go in and you got to play. We come right out of the gate. Game 1 and 2 is against Howland. So last year we beat them twice, but the second game very competitive. And like I said, Howland has gotten much improved this year. They're going to be a tough out. There's not one game in this conference that's easy. So like I tell these girls, you do really got to play perfect against these teams in conference to be able to win that crown. But we're just as good, in my opinion, as any one of them. So we're going to go out and we're going to compete hard for it.
Coach, we talked about your team in the circle, but let's talk about your lineup. It's hard to pitch too because you got different players that can do different things. I know Dana Haus last year was great at the top of the order, getting on base, and then obviously Jenna Olexa probably hits the ball harder than anyone that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
the sound that her contact makes when she squares up a ball. She's got a lot of power in her bat. So you got a good mix in this lineup. What do you expect out of your offense this year?
Well, actually Saturday we first game against Medina, we hit the ball. We scored 4 runs. But we should have scored 8. We were smoking the ball, and that's key. I tell them it's great if we can go out and hit 400 as a team, and you're going to win a lot of games. But odds are you're not. There's so much good pitching in this area, and our in-conference and out-of-conference schedules are very tough. So control the controllables. Go out, execute the small ball stuff. Move runners, even if 0-2 in a count, put a ball in play. Make things happen. And I think they're buying into that more. Sometimes. Early on when they were younger, a few of these girls, they put so much pressure on themselves to have to succeed in the moment, have to come up and hit a 2-out double or hit 1 out. And, just don't do that. We have a lot of depth in this offense. We have a lot of girls with, like you said, that the top of the order with some speed, and we also mix in some power. Nadia Rwana, very great on base percentage. She has an unbelievable eye at the plate, walks a ton for us. So Sophia Hoffman, another one that's hard to strike out. She's going to put balls in play. Very good at getting balls down, and even my sophomore Maddie Weimer, she's young but big power for a little girl, and she can go out there and and she again same thing, does not strike out a lot, puts the ball in play. So that's what's key. Just do your job, and sometimes it may only be a ground out, but that ground out may lead to a win. So just do your job, control what you can.
Coach, we talked about the AAC being a tough conference, but again, only 5 teams inside the conference, so it does allow a little bit of room for non-conference scheduling too. So talk about some of those matchups that you're excited for the girls to be able to compete against this season.
Well, this year, like every year that I've been here, me and my athletic director know that, it's about scheduling up. You cannot you can't play teams and be ready for the tournament if you schedule down. So, and I didn't get into this to win 200, 300 games. I got in this to make a run. And so obviously we're playing the likes of Poland twice, Hubbard. We know Hubbard's loaded. We had a great game with them last year. We had to walk it off against Hubbard last year. Maslin Jackson, we know the pedigree there. An Aurora team who we played last year in a doubleheader. And again, a lower division team, but very, very good team. They have a couple of girls that play on big time travel teams up there. Twinsburg, another, team that's always relevant. West Branch, every year she puts, everyone says West Branch is down or whatever, and she puts out a team that just goes out and competes game in and game out. So, it's a credit to her as a coach. And then Champion, another, obviously we know Champion. We don't have to discuss much about Champion. Again, it's about scheduling up. But now we're going to Florida for spring break, and we actually scheduled some really tough teams down there. And again, it was the same thing. We're not going to travel all the way to Florida to not schedule up. And we're playing three teams down there right now that are really, really good. Tampa Catholic, a Parish Community, and Inspiration Academy. These are three teams that over the past 3 years have just been unbelievable in the Florida area. So, again, same thing. We want to schedule up, and that's what it's about. So we're ready for tournament time.
The other thing about going down to Florida, other than the great competition you're going to play, it gives a great opportunity for team bonding and being able to build team chemistry. How excited are you to kind of see that kind of develop with this team that, like you said, a lot of people are returning from last year, so these girls obviously know each other so well, and now they get to build relationships even further with a trip to Florida.
Yeah, and I mean we've done it, in the past. I mean, even my daughter played. They've gone to Myrtle. My first year, we went to Myrtle. Obviously, with the COVID years, it's been, we weren't able to do that. But you're right. That's exactly what this is about. We stay together. The girls stay together. They stay, four to a room, and you're able to develop these bonds. I have 10 seniors that, like you said, they're very tight. They're tight knit group. But I also have 7 new freshmen. These girls who are looking up to these girls for guidance and leadership, and it's about bonding and having that time to where you get to really know each other on and off the softball field, obviously. So and also the weather helps because you're playing down there too. Whereas unfortunately sometimes here with the weather you're not always playing. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good learning experience for us, and like I said, I'm really looking forward to it.
Coach, we always like to make sure all of our coaches get highlighted throughout the season, but we also know our coaches wouldn't be anything without the staffs that they put around them too. So shout out those proponents on your assistants, as well as just some other big proponents inside the Boardman softball program.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, I'm only as good as my assistants around me. My assistant this year is Lauren Gabriel. Lauren played for Boardman, was a heck of a player, graduated a few years ago. And she went to Mount Union actually to play basketball. But Lauren's been with me since day one. She was on my JV staff. She coached down there. And my assistant that I've had for a couple of years in Lindsay Bates. Lindsay's going to go down the JVs this year to help down there. And then I hired Bernie Bola. Bernie's a local guy. Many people know Bernie coaches basketball for several years, different schools. Bernie also very good addition to my staff. And, I have a lot of people, behind the scenes that help with Boardman softball over the years and help build a program. Dave Matz, a good friend of mine who's helped with our youth program. And, he's helped with the girls, even at the high school level. We started Boardman Community Baseball is where all this starts. And so we have to have that good relationship there. And without that, it's nothing. These girls have to have that foundation. We run a camp at Boardman Community Baseball, or at Sluggers for Boardman Community Baseball, and Bill Ambrose is a good, big part in that for us. So, we're able to build the program from the ground up, and that's where we're supposed to be. And I could tell you that I know my best 9 and 10-year-olds in Boardman, and that's the way it should be, because if you're not doing that, you're not doing your job. And if I plan on being here for years, then that's how it's built from the ground up.
Coach, we know that your home facility is one of the best in the area, and you just got a new scoreboard, I believe. I think your parents were out there putting it up in
yes.
Snowy, cold weather. The dedication was unreal. Talk about this home field advantage that you have and what a blessing it is to play in such a nice facility.
Well, it is. And let me tell you, this facility over the years has really been built on the parents, on the backs of parents, and the raising the money of parents. So I have an amazing club, Our Lady Spartan Fast Pitch Club, led by our president, Candy Rivera. It's absolutely amazing. They've done so many, great things over the years. We have, call me biased, call me what you want. We have the best club at Boardman. We've raised a ton of money to give back to the girls. The girls have the best swag gear and stuff. And, they're part of them going to Florida is through monies we've raised through the club. And also, like you said, to put up a great scoreboard, which, by the way, will don the YSN also. Thank you, YSN and DJ, for that. It's great. And every year we've made improvements, and we're trying, every year to make it a little bit better. I don't know how much of a home field advantage it was. We didn't have farewell last year at home in many games, but hopefully this year will be a little better. But yeah, it's, my parents are great. They really are, and they really work hard. I had 2 dads in my off season that put a lot of work in to make us a lot better as well.
To be fair, Coach, you had a lot of unbelievable defensive plays not go your way at home last year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Some just amazing plays at the wall. It's like your field invited great defense from other teams.
Yeah, that champion game is one that will haunt me for quite a while. But you're right. Yeah, I mean, that happens, and that's part of the game, and you're going to have those go your way and sometimes not, and it's adversity, and you got to build on it, and you got to learn from it and move forward. That's all you can do.
Coach, let's talk about this program that has these parents surrounding it. I know you were shouting them out a little bit, but I mean, just how influential is that to a program's success, having parents and a community that's so bought in, that's there to support at the games, and then go the step further and supporting in other ways that they can?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's my alma mater. It's where I want to be. People always say, if you stop coaching the Boardman, would you ever coach somewhere else? I don't know. I don't know that I could. I mean, it's everything I've ever wanted in, being my school, my community. I love my girls. I love my parents. They're great. And again, without them, I'm really nothing. These girls put the work in. They go out there. They run the bases. They hit the ball. I try to put them in good positions the best I can. And, some days I coach well, some days I don't. But, this community is amazing. I mean, we had our night at the races here a few weeks ago. And over the years, we've had donated food, whatever, what have you. This year, it was almost the entire food was donated, and the drinks from just the community, from BW3s, who are absolutely amazing to us, and, BJ's and Gia Russo. I can go on and on, from Coca's Pizza, Belleria and Boardman. There's so many great community or local businesses that have supported us, not only just in softball, obviously other sports, but yeah, I mean it's amazing. I love everything about Boardman, and I obviously reside here, and I ain't going anywhere anytime soon. So,
DJ, giving a shout out to your curtains back there. I mean, you're really, really bleeding the colors.
Is that what he's? Oh yeah, the maroon curtain. That's right. Oh, I like. Okay, yeah, he's right. That's right, DJ. That's all about maroon and white. Got my gray on today, but I'm the maroon and white.
Talk about setting up the interview. I mean, the only thing missing is the Boardman Spartan logo in the background, making an official press conference.
That might come next time. Yeah, that might come next time.
Coach, we want to thank you so much for joining us. I mean, to get real, we know that you're going through a tough time right now with the loss in your family. From everyone at YSN, DJ, me, Ty, we're thinking about you. We love you. We love the support that you give us, and we love the time that you give us as well. So good luck this season. We'll talk to you a lot down the road, and we look forward to seeing you out there on the softball field.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. That means a lot. And, I love you guys too. And everything you guys are about and what you do for our kids is absolutely amazing. I can't thank you enough. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach. We'll see you down the road.